Hello and welcome students to this module. The name of this unit is Morphology of Angiosperms and the name of the module is Leaf Incisions. In this module, we are going to study different kinds of leaf incisions. In the outline, you can see simple entire leaves and incised leaves, types of incisions at different levels in leaves. At the end of this module, you should be able to differentiate between entire leaves and incised leaves and to identify different types of incisions in leaves. Now, as we go to the core of this subject, we have to know what are the leaf types. As we have said and learnt earlier, we have got two kinds of leaves, simple leaves and compound leaves. Simple leaves are nothing but leaves which are not incised. They have an entire margin or their margin may show some serrations, indentations and so on, but they are not incised or cut up to a certain level. Whereas in compound leaves, there is incision in the leaf lamina to an extent that these incisions reach the midrib or reach the base of the petiole, okay, giving rise to leaflets. So we call them as compound leaves. So incisions are basically found in compound leaves. Here you see what is a leaf incision. What is a leaf incision? It's just a cut or indent in the leaf lamina right from the margin. When indentation reaches or it becomes very prominent in the leaf, we say that the leaf is incised or lobed. The pattern of incision depends on the type of leaf venation. As you know, we have two types of leaf venations like pinnate venation and palmate venation. So correspondingly, we have incisions which are applied to both these types of venations. In pinnate venations, the incisions usually progress up to the midrib or the rachis. In palmate venation, the incisions come to the base of the leaf lamina, reaching the top of the petiole. We see that simple leaves may be undivided or incised variously. So whenever simple leaves are present, when they are incised, we call them as incised leaves. So incision types depend on how deep the incision progresses towards the midrib. The cut, how deep from the margin, whether it is reaching the midrib. When it reaches the midrib, we can call it as a compound leaf. But when it is midway, when it is slightly away from the midrib, or when it is just halfway near the midrib, then this type of situation, this type of characterization, we call it as incision in leaves. Okay. So we use different suffixes. Suffixes we add to the categories and we describe the leaves accordingly. So the suffixes used to describe incisions are three: feed, pertite and sect. When do we use feed? Feed when incision is less than halfway towards the midrib, from the margin towards the midrib or towards the base of the leaf blade or the leaf lamina. So then when it is just less than halfway, we use the suffix feed. Then the next suffix is pertite. When the incision reaches halfway towards the midrib, then we use the suffix pertite. Then sect, the last suffix is sect. When incision is more than halfway towards the midrib, almost reaching the midrib, then we use the suffix sect. Okay. Accordingly, we have got 7 types of incisions, leaf incisions. You can see in this diagrammatic sketch, we can see the first 3 are corresponding to the pinnate type of venation. The next 3 are corresponding to the palmate type of venation, and accordingly, according to the type of incision, according to the distance from the midrib, the suffixes are added to these different types like feed, pertite and sect. Then the last one, 7th one is pedate, is an entirely different type of incisions which we are going to deal with in the next slides. Now first one, pinnatifid. Pinnatifid is applied to a pinnate type of venation wherein the incision is less than halfway towards the midrib. From the margin, it is less than halfway towards the midrib. So the leaf is cut, in other words, the leaf is cut or incised less than halfway towards the midrib. This is seen in chrysanthemum species. You can see in the picture you can see the leaf, you can see the plant which is incised to a depth less than halfway towards the midrib. Then pinnate petite, again petite suffix is used here for the pinnate venation type. You can see this in Agimon mexicana. Agimon mexicana, the incision is halfway towards the midrib. It has already, the cut has already reached halfway before it reaches the midrib. So this type of incision of a pinnate venation type of leaf you see in Agimon mexicana. So we call it as pinnate petite. The next type is pinnate sect, where when you use the suffix sect means it has the incision or the cut has reached more than halfway from the margin towards the midrib. This is seen in marigold. We also call it as Tagetes. Botanical name is Tagetes species. Okay. If you have a closer look, it looks like a compound leaf wherein it is already cut up to the midrib. But when you see and have a closer look, you have a narrow strip of lamina still attached to the rachis. So it is a pinnate sect type of incision. Now going to the fourth one, here palmate prefix is used, fid is the suffix. So this is for palmate leaf compound or palmate leaves. Okay, the incision again is less than halfway towards the base. When we use palmate leaves, we use the term base and not the midrib or the rachis. So incision is less than halfway towards the base. Example, Passiflora species. You can see in the picture, you can see the incision is less than halfway towards the base. Next is palmate petite, which you see in Ricinus communis, that is castor. The incision is halfway towards the base already of the leaf lamina. Okay, so this we can see in Ricinus communis, or it is also known as castor. We can see in the picture. The next type of incision is palmate sect. We use the suffix sect. The incision almost touches the base of the petiole. Okay, so it is seen in tapioca, which the botanical name is given here, Manihot esculenta. You can see the tree, you can see the leaf which is enlarged here. You can see the leaflets which are almost touching the base of the leaf lamina. The last type, almost a unique type of incision which we see in leaves is pedate, which is seen in Sciarecia pedata, wherein the leaflets which are formed are like claws of a bird. You can see the leaflets on either side of the midrib, which are just like arranged like the claws of the bird. This is a classic example is Sciarecia pedata. There are other examples like Vitis pedata and so on. Now in this module we have studied about leaves, simple leaves, compound leaves, how basically simple leaves are incised, and how compound leaves, when they are fully incised, we call them as compound, and the different kinds of simple incised leaves, like we have 7 types. What are the suffixes we used? Feed, petite and sect. And the 7 types of incisions, we have got pinnate feed, pinnate petite, pinnate sect. Palmate feed, palmate petite, palmate sect, and a very unique type is pedate type. So for the references you can refer to the PowerPoint, and hope you have learnt in this module. A thank you to you.